we only have a couple more.
Okay, you're on.
All right. We'll do this real quick. This is called the 180 degree rule, right? The 180 degree rule is a camera position rule. Can it be broken? Everything in the film industry can be broken. That's the whole point.
I feel like it's different though when you're live shooting versus what you do.
Yeah. So that's a great point. But in live shooting, I feel like they don't even care sometimes.
Well, but this setting, this is more like traditional, whereas it's not like those grungy kind of like crazy like shoots and stuff like that, where it's just like you're doing like you're up close, there's flashing, blah blah blah. Like this is more of like I think a traditional,
right,
more
and
traditional.
this right here, you can't break the 180 degree rule because the 180 degree rule is the stage and the audience, right? So, essentially what happens is that, well, let me explain it first.
Oh, don't do that. You're getting it all over your hands.
That's fine. Alright, I'm going to explain it real quick. What the 180 degree rule is a camera positioning rule, alright? And I'll start with one talent, okay? So we have one person just standing there, right? There's his little shoulders, there's his head. See, that's my person. Pretty good, right? Alright.
It looks like more of like a fan, like a blade.
Okay, so if you spun Frank around a whole bunch, he'd probably fly away. So the way that the 180 degree rule is that it's a way for shots to not look disoriented, okay?
Confusing to the person that's watching.
And what it is, it's all about establishing where the talent is, okay? When there's one person, and if we're interviewing them or if we're shooting them, and say they're looking this way for some artistic reason, and then someone's off camera here that they're interviewing, and the camera's here, right? This has become the 180 degree rule, okay? We have to now only shoot on this side of these two people because we established this side. So what happens is that if you wanted to do the interview and take the camera over here and shoot it, it's gonna disorient everything. It's gonna make this person look in a totally different place. You see what I'm saying? So instead, what we do a lot is that we'll take another camera instead of this one. We'll put one next to it with a close-up and a medium or a wide. You see what I'm saying? And that'll give us two perspectives. All right, that's a single person. All right, it is.
Can you do the example for the stage?
Yes.
Rather than the interview, because I feel like that's more applicable for us. Right?
Well, what's cool about live broadcast and the stage is it kind of works the same way, right? Except, all right, so act like we're in Taj Mahal, right? And that's Pastor Eugene just speaking to the world, right?
Jesus.
And there's the audience, right? All right, so what happens a lot is that when we shoot from this side versus this side, if you look, the line is actually here, right? So we always shoot here and like that, right? So essentially, we're not breaking the 180 degree. If we put a camera here and shot over Pastor Eugene's shoulder into the audience, that would sometimes make it feel awkward. And if we had him in the frame.
So
what
is it that, so what I don't like is, and what I feel like is just horrible is when we go, if a person were to go from that camera to that camera, I always think about it like I'm telling a story, and there should be a reason for my shot. Don't just take a shot just 'cause
every
you're
shot
like,
should have a purpose.
Right, it's just because it looks cool.
Right.
Like, so if we take this shot and then we go to that shot, it's so like aggressive. Like my brain's like.
So you always
what's
like
happening?
to cut here, right?
Right, right. Whether it's a head to toe, whether it's a medium, whether it's a wide, just to like help tell like a story that is
better transition.
Yeah.
Right, and the thing with these two cameras is that if this one is a close-up and this one's a medium, it might not be as jarring.
Right.
But if they're the same exact shot, then
Right.
absolutely, it would be like kind of off-putting a little
But
bit.
did someone just like flip the
Right.
Something
The whole
around.
room, they flip
Right,
the whole
right.
room is what happens.
Right.
If
Right.
this camera was here and shooting him like that,
Different, yeah.
it would be even worse. You see what I'm saying? But because we established a line here, this and this is acceptable, but it's not exactly
Ideal.
preferable, right? So what we do a lot of the times is we take a camera here, right? And we shoot boom, boom, boom. And what you're doing is you're kind of taking that shot and bringing it over here. You see what I'm
Instead
saying?
of taking that one camera and sliding on the
Right.
slider, you just moving.
Just
Or,
go boom,
I mean,
boom, boom.
you can do any camera that's back here. Any
Right.
camera that's in the and focusing on the subject in the middle. So it could be like a crowd shot, or like
Or a wide,
right,
like an
right.
ultra
It
wide.
could be anything. It just can't be like the same to the same, but just a flip, like you're saying. It's
Like if
what-
this was a medium and that was a medium, it'd be annoying. Like it would drive the audience.
And that's
crazy.
something the person that's doing directing now moving forward.
Right.
needs
Would
understand
have to
and-
think about those situations. Right. Now I will say though, if this shot here, I honestly believe is probably one of the best looking when it's done correctly, because of the lighting more than anything.
Right. I
The
agree.
lighting in this one is like sick, and this one is pretty good too. But this one, like for some reason, when they get like a medium profile shot, and then he'll turn and look the direction of the camera, and you're like, dude, that hit perfect. You know what I'm saying? So that one, I would always establish every other camera move off of almost. You know what I'm saying?
Now, my question is too, because of the way where I have camera 6 and camera 7, is like, should we make like a because I know we have the zoom in, zoom out option. Are the position good for kind of something like this, or do we need to move the camera maybe a feature forward so we can have a better?
I think
better
that camera,
capture?
personally, we get a lot of hands and heads. So if there
Camera
was a
6?
way to, like if we had a thing we could put out there,
That's
yeah,
cool.
that we could like just bring it up like that much. That's what I noticed. Like I couldn't use. Is that 7?
That's 6 right now, and that's
6 is on the right,
So-
7's on the left.
So
Yeah. So this is
whatever-
7 and this is 6. So this is stage left.
So
Yeah.
I couldn't. I just knew who was on it? What's his name?
Cornell.
Yeah, I couldn't use his shot. Because he had to get so extreme that it was not a pleasant shot
Because of the
right, because of heads or hands of people worshiping. So
Let's talk about that real quick. The one thing, how you doing, buddy?
What up?
welcome to your training.
You got me doing camera Sunday, man.
I've
You didn't
seen.
know, now you know.
So here's the thing about getting the crowd, what we call dirty in the frame with the crowd. It establishes that there's people here. So the people that are at home, do we think it's a good thing that it'll
They see it.
they'll see it, and then it might draw them to come in as well?
I
Possibly.
I think as long as it's established though, because when you're so tight and you see like some strange object,
That, yeah.
you don't know it's a
You
head.
have to make it on like purposely done.
Right,
Not like you know.
Like on the
somebody-
wides that I used to do back here.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Like
Yes.
on your videos,
Yeah.
like when you do it, you're intentional about
Yeah,
it.
you have to be
Right.
intentional with it.
Right.
Don't just like because somebody sometimes I know with camera 5 the way we have a camera 5. If you don't be careful when they're doing the sermon, everybody when they're doing the verse, everybody get up. You don't have a shot.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like, that's definitely dirty in the camera. That's too much right there.
Yeah, it's a little
Right.
too. That's a little too dirty.
What's up, Dave? What you looking for?
He's
Not
coming to
speaking
learn.
while the recording's on.
So,
Like, I don't want no evidence that I was here.
so essentially, with this, what's cool is anytime that we're on the other side of this line, which is if we stay in the audience side, we're pretty safe. Like it's not going to break that. If we took like I said, a camera here and shot this way, that would break the line.
Yeah.
But what's cool is that like
That's why I like this.
everybody
camera 5 to
shoots
say-
the band that way,
Yeah.
and so it doesn't break it. So it's totally legit.
Well, and can we talk about the band? It's not really lit. Like the guitar, it's not really a good shot.
The back.
It's lost and so dark, and it's not even like it's not. It's just I feel like it's not really a good shot.
A usable shot.
Yeah, I just feel like it's kind of a waste. I mean, I wish it was lit. I love those shots, and when he goes in or he's in tight and he's like pulling out and
Or
like
do, a
showing him.
pan, kind of-
Yeah, like I think that's
My favorite is watching David go bananas.
I know. I gotta get David on like an extra medium because he jumps so high. Like you can't use a medium shot with David or a close up because he is out of your shot.
Conference, yes. Are we doing a video for that, or we already did? We already did a video for that, right?
Where you going? Where you going, sir?
He's
Oh,
had
good.
enough.
He's still here.
So this one,
Let's go back
if we
to the
were to
spot.
go like
Right.
that, so you get a little of so the projection. So this guy is facing this way,
Right.
and sometimes you want like you put him in. So this is your frame.
Oh,
Put a
so
frame
you're
right.
talking
So
about the
he's
third.
there.
Yeah, the
and the
right
people
there.
What do we
right.
talk with like
So which
pastors
is like
and
this.
leaders
What
about
about
crowd
that
shots?
shot?
What have they said?
what about it? I think it's
Yeah.
great.
It's usually
It's
camera.
okay,
They say
because
don't.
When you
sometimes-
catch some people here,
Yeah.
oh, that's awesome.
Well,
I
they
like
take their time.
what
They
we're
feel
seeing
like
that
it
because
breaks
it's
it,
real.
like,
One
to
thing-
see
That-
And the
that
audience
shot.
has
Is
to,
that when
like,
he was
it's
out
gonna
of
pump
town,
them up and bring them
if you
in.
know
That's
your
what we
crowd shot,
want to
you
do,
could
is
do
like
it.
bring these people in, right?
That's good.
That's
But
what he said.
sometimes
So
they-
that's what I think is that.
Make you
It-
think that's
because a lot of
a
times we
real
don't have
shot.
light for
Right.
the crowd shots. Sometimes
Okay,
we have
so-
light for the stage. So that's.
Does anybody have any questions real quick about 180-degree rule?
Why do they call it 180 degrees? Because it's like that.
Because it's literally 180 degrees on each side. Like, it's cutting a full circle. Imagine, like,
Okay.
this is like a circle,
Yeah.
and it cuts it right in half. We want to keep and establish all the cameras on this side. If we do on that side, then we obviously shoot
Those-
towards there.
Okay.
And so maybe we look at, I don't know how you feel about the lighting back there. I know we've talked about it and you had some concerns about it, if I remember
On the
correctly.
bench.
Yeah, it's dark.
Yeah,
It's-
we
it's a-
might
we're-
the possibility we might have more light because we have planned to add some
Budget?
RGB and some. They said it's better like LEDs or something like that, so it might be brighter. So we'll see.
So
Yeah.
one thing that's really cool is, first and foremost, when they're in front stage, we want the audience, obviously, will get honed in on them, right? So that's why they're lit so good. The band is back there for texture and movement and stuff like that, so we
Sometimes.
get everything. But the guitarist is playing a riff, he's not going to pump us up as an audience member like David is. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he's lit and everything's just
Yeah. Makes sense. 'Cause
Right.
so big.
Video, the band sometimes they should be like they're like a lot of times they like in the background. The band is like they there but not there. But at the same time, I guess what the audience like if we're using camera 5, it's up there. It's like and I know Ricky does that a lot. Ricky always like, hey, I can't see. And like, hey, cause I know he does that a lot. So I mean, should we not try to use those shots to go up there no more or something? Is that what we
I kind of feel like we should start looking at edge lighting a little bit, like from where he's saying maybe from the screen.
If you see the stage now, the stage lighting, the stage lights that are on, just hit really the middle of the
Right.
stage.
Mhm.
They don't
That's
do
all.
anything for the back.
Yeah.
Those strip lights that are above this, they don't do anything for
Right.
the back.
So if
The
we
only
took
lights-
that same, the par cans and stuff that are there,
The only lights that I really use right now are the swivel lights on the trusses.
Right.
That's
But they're
for
not-
baptism, right? It's for
Yeah,
baptism.
but they're not really like stage lighting. They're more
What
for
happens is the light
accent.
that we currently have, if we take them too far towards the bend, then it goes to the screen. Then it's like you can't see nothing.
right.
That's our
Now the
problem.
new lights that we put in, they are going to be 10 times brighter or 100 times brighter than
maybe
what we
that's-
have. So maybe that'll help.
When is that gonna happen?
Next
Mid-October.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do that
The-
next month.
So to answer your question, it would have to be ultra directional lighting. If it's right above the screen, kind of aiming back, it'd have to be some of the source 4s and Lecos that are up there. I don't know if you know what those are.
Oh, but I can look into it.
No context, yes.
So we can look at them real quick if you want, but if you took those and aimed them just as a backlight to the guitarists and stuff,
Mhm.
what it's gonna do is when you're shooting David or whoever's in front of them, it's not gonna get really muddy like it does now. Like right now, it gets muddy in the background.
Well, you
It's
use-
there. There's texture.
Right.
You see movement, but it's like
Yeah.
almost like as if the resolution just goes.
Right, and
You
then
know what I
there's no
mean?
focus. You can't get focus.
Right. So and that's coming from just the difference in exposures.
Well, and I don't know, like where we're at on, like shooting the worship team, and I know some people aren't comfortable, like with us, like doing like their pans or zooms or getting a person like if David's leading and then someone else is really into it and you know he's dancing and so then we were taking this shot and that shot. But who was it? Henry, I think you were telling me that some people just they don't want that. They don't want their.
They don't like if he goes on stage.
I have
don't like
my
it?
own theory on that.
It's not that I don't like it. It can be just slightly distracting.
What is it? I didn't.
Camera 5, like the one that's close up on stage.
Well, but what if it's camera 5 now where it's at? That's distracting.
Where's camera 5 now?
No, we usually have it down
In the aisle.
in the
About-
seats.
Where
Okay.
you were Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now that shot was fire.
So that was not distracting.
No, that wasn't distracting.
Which
Okay.
which
When
one?
Henry
Camera
was in the
5
middle.
is camera 5 the one that walks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's on stage,
It's
distracting.
Yes, I agree.
Oh,
when
to
it is
you, when you're-
not on stage, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
So would you say in general that people are comfortable on the worship team if we're like shooting them while they're worshiping?
It's personal.
I personally don't care. But I know some people do feel insecure. They could potentially feel insecure based off of what angle you're coming at them at. So
see the filling and they're like, oh.
you know,
I understand. Sure.
you know, because for me, I don't care. But if you come down at a lower angle, you're gonna see my whole gut, like all of it. I don't care. But some people,
Right.
you know, some people have their own feelings about that. But for me,
Have they ever mentioned that in like your meetings and stuff?
they've mentioned people getting close.
Yeah, they mentioned it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They're like, yo, I was.
We're at the point where
Really?
over here in number 7, when there was a camera over there was only a few of us were comfortable standing in
next to
7
that camera, yeah.
because they were
That's
so
one reason
concerned
I
about
like
that shot.
Wow.
It was too
Okay.
close, yeah.
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 Which one?
Camera 6, where it used to be.
But
it
it
It used to be
Oh
closer.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, no, that one was tough.
Yeah, we were saying that. I go, you got to get rid of it, bro.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah, no,
that's
'cause
great. Where
it's
we
literally-
sit
it's right
for
here.
service. I know.
It's literally right there, like
It's intimidating.
You know what that reminds me of is where we're sit. Whoever's shooting, that's us to their butt. Like we're sitting there standing at the person's butt, like
right.
looking around. And I was like, why is it not back
Going
behind?
up to do something, I'm like, oh, excuse me, I'm like,
Yeah.
we have to do
Right,
something.
right.
And then they're climbing down, like you know what I'm saying? You're like,
Wearing a skirt.
yeah, I know, just-
Yeah.
But-
Especially when the chair would rock a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think where camera 5 is now, I think that's great. It's just when it starts moving and getting on stage, then it becomes for people like me. I move a lot.
yeah.
I do not want to hit you when I move, and I've had that happen before where I've been on stage with a moving camera and they got too close and they got whacked and almost dropped the camera.
Yeah.
Well,
And
and
it was probably
really-
a bigger camera too.
Really.
And it was a much bigger camera.
The most important thing is the Holy Spirit and God manifesting His presence. It's not about the camera shot, and
Absolutely.
so you know, and we have to always.
Work
It's got to
together.
be.
They
it's
So if
gotta
we
be-
stayed off the stage and we just shot from right in front of it,
I think
No, you can get on the
Yeah,
stage.
you have to be. You
You just have to be mindful of where you get on the stage.
Yeah, you know.
Well, and don't you like people coming on through the back and exiting through the back?
That's
Yeah.
it. Please.
But I've seen people like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, what are they doing? I'm like watching. I'm just in the audience. I'm like, why are they walking on the stage right now?
They weren't supposed to be.
Yeah,
they
They're
weren't
not supposed to.
We don't. It's not a matter of like not being on the stage. We don't care about the shots on the stage. It's when you're walking up and we can physically see you
Right. It's so distracting.
walking up.
Yeah.
Then it becomes distracting. Like there have been times where you guys have gotten shots from like behind. Those are phenomenal shots because we can see them on the stage display. Those are phenomenal shots. But it's just when you come up and it's like Jehovah Jireh, fight your battles, and we're moving out the way
Right.
to let you on the
Like,
stage.
excuse me.
Right, Jehovah Jireh meets your
I was
needs.
bleeding.
You know.
that's I mean, if we shot from in front of the stage and zoomed in, we could get the only problem is that we're not at the same level as you.
Right,
Like
the height.
we can't shoot here, we're shooting
Yeah.
here up at you.
We just-
Which in essence
Makes
is
them look
what we
bigger.
do in the industry to create giants, like
Yeah.
to create
Taller
big
people.
spirits.
Okay, well then from now on, if y'all are shooting me, make sure you shoot me as low as possible. So
But I will say those shots
Okay.
are fire.
Yeah.
They
When you
are.
guys
They're
do
good.
them.
They're good.
I pay attention to those shots too.
I like it when they shoot and you can see it on the screen and you in that one shot. Like I think those are really.
Yeah, no, those,
Yeah.
Oh,
those
when
are
you
fire.
get have that like effect.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I used to do it with Pastor Nate during chapel with the kids, because I was doing stuff for CCA, and he was sitting there preaching and stuff, and you could see him preaching on the screen, and I had him like framed up, and then he was in the rest of the frame up there. It was a really sick looking shot. You know what I'm saying?
I want to do shots.
So what about the camera color? Because I'll be looking real
Yeah.
burnt.
Yes, they are all different. I would agree.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
color
a
Because the
something
models,
I mean,
the
discussion.
models,
Yeah.
yeah.
I try to work.
We talk about that at home.
Because I'll be looking real burnt.
Well, and everybody's like,
You mean,
wait,
like, red,
wait,
like,
why is he
skin tones
orange
are
right
really
now?
red,
This is
or
that one
So,
right there, be looking
You can
green.
you can just tell the difference really when it comes to like camera when Pastor's on stage and then when I get on stage. Because it goes from a clear shot to me being purple. And I'm like,
No, Pastor's orange and you're purple.
yeah,
well,
you
that's
know?
the reason why is because.
Magenta.
So what happens is
Magenta.
because he has such a pink skin tone, as you can see, I'm pretty familiar with it.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you white balance to stuff like that, it adds
Do
a
we white
tone
balance?
of green.
Do what?
Do we white balance?
I do sometimes. I try
Yeah.
to do it.
But we should do that every camera every
We
week.
need
Absolutely.
to get a white balance thing.
The thing is,
Is it on auto?
it's a no. Usually it's not an auto. It's just
Oh,
that one,
camera.
yeah.
They just
So-
they just change the light by itself because
No, I
To
think
kill that pink skin tone, they have to add green. So what happens is that when you come on stage and you know what I mean? Like,
You plus green equals
yeah.
Purple!
What happens is the green's there, so instead that gets canceled out, and then it adds pink back to you.
So
and
it's
you know
not
what I'm
always
saying?
so
So it's like,
Oh, but I think too. We start with a red color and then we transition to a blue, so that probably
To
controls
resolve
the
The
color.
lighting, you
to
mean?
resolve
Yeah.
this issue, is what we saw in the Action Church. They all have Black Magic camera, and they have someone that's changing the color on the camera because it's hard for me to tell somebody while we're
Right.
live. Let's go ahead and make sure that
Right.
we cannot do that. It's
So
like,
normally it would be the switcher,
Well, and
or
it's-
there's a color
there's-
sitting
there's
next to the
a-
switcher
somebody-
that would
yeah, somebody
do all the
does
colors.
So there's like,
The
Right,
iris
but then
and
you
the
have to do it
From
at the
this way.
camera, and one, you're relying on the expertise of the camera operator,
yeah, so
and
it's
then like sometimes you're like, just don't
You
even
don't know
don't
what-
even say it.
we
They're
try, we
like,
try not to use those shot a lot
Right.
because it's like this on the fly. There's not much we could do because
Right.
it's like I have to. If I'm doing this, I have to go back there and trying to just and then other that things are happening.
well, this I think if you have someone running it that knows what they're doing, I don't think that's difficult. But I know that
That's
was
gonna
it
take a
camera 7? Is it 7? No,
That's
seven.
Seven was like turning yellow,
Yeah, orange
and by itself. So it's like
So we would have to do a full, take all the cameras, line them up, and do a chip chart and the
see
balance
what-
and all
we
that.
have
Yeah.
to find something
Or
like that.
standardize with the black magic. You can do that.
Huh?
Standardize
They
with
had-
the black
You want to
magic.
pick?
Action Church had very cams, right? Was that
That thing,
they were Black
I
Magic?
want to say they have Black Magic because they had
Yeah.
the option to do that color.
On the fly.
The color
So
adjustment on
I will
like
say
this
this,
switch.
and David would be amazing for this. He would totally eat it up. Remember the video I showed you with Donnie McClurkin, and so that shot where you see like the crowd in the background.
What do you know about Donnie McClurkin?
You don't know what
Really?
you're talking about?
No, I used to direct for Carlton Pearson. I was his
Yeah.
I was his TV manager. So I did Azusa, those huge conferences. Yes.
Yes, that's what we have here working with us, bro.
Yeah, goes. Okay.
Yeah, so I love it when you bring back those songs. I'm like, I'm in higher dimensions right now. I'm like all in it.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is that shot, and you would eat it up. You could handle it. Where we are, so the camera guy is behind you. So the stage is, you're looking this way, crowd's up there. He's behind you, and then you're dancing, right? You're doing your jig, and you're coming around, and then you're actually singing, but you're singing to the camera, right? Because
and the crowd's behind.
and the crowd's behind you, and then you kind of like, but then you move. So then you're
You
like,
go back.
then you go back and you turn, and he follows you, right? And then we go to another shot. But like it's like you engaging with the camera, but you're not like, you know what I mean? You're not like making it about
Purpose,
you.
on purpose, yeah.
Right, you're not like the superstar, but you know, okay, the camera's here, so I'm going to perform for the camera.
There's some
Like,
candidness in it.
right.
I know. I did it at Church in the Sun.
So, but I don't think
Hence the he'll eat
everybody.
it up.
I don't think everybody. Well, and like a lot of people don't move. Like Miranda, I don't think moves much.
No. She
So
does not move. I am the only one that moves.
yeah.
Yeah, everybody kind of stays in their spot. I think it's because you move so much that everybody's like, we'll stay in our spots. You'll just be all over.
Yeah, David, when I'm standing next to you,
I know it's a scary thing. I know.
There's nothing in the
Are you
world
relax them?
that we would want
girl.
any
That's
different.
really good.
But I've never hit anybody. I've never hit anybody.
That
You always go
cameraman.
back and forth and this,
You said what?
That cameraman.
Well, except for the cameraman, that was his fault. That was his fault.
So he hit you actually.
Yeah, he hit me. I didn't hit him.
Technically.
With his body.
Um,
So Ryan, is anything else that you want to cover?
this right here is the 180 degree rule is pretty simple, and that's just something that we obviously there's rules to break it. Let me write those down real quick. Cutaways.
Are we ever gonna do like we had a camera where we would have someone during a service just getting like crowd shots, and it was going live to tape, or it was going to tape, it wasn't going live, and then we would edit them in after
Right.
the fact. Like
Right.
so then we had this like, 60 minutes of crowd shots, and then we could drop them in before the sermon went live. For like reaction shots and stuff like that.
It could happen. I think it could happen live too. Like you could take 5 and turn around on the crowd.
Well,
easy.
and then you could still have that camera go to tape, and you would have all those camera
Right.
shots for options, so you could do both.
ISO it, like just
Mhm.
record it, like you know what I'm saying?
So,
You know what?
Yeah.
Just one note on that. When they tried to do them before, I think the reason that they stopped was because there weren't really people sitting on front row.
but
But now that we're
change it.
pushing it,
Dude,
the front row
second
is
service
taken.
right now?
Second service
Yeah.
Sunday was. I was like, "Where's my seat?"
The
You
fact that
took my seat.
the pastor
You
Glenn
sound
had
sit on
to
your
talk
lap.
about it on stage, you know?
Did he say, hey, we
talked
have a
about-
first service too? Yeah, he does that when it's packed. He's
couple
always like,
minutes, emphasize the services and like.
Yeah, they took
Yeah.
my seat.
Yeah. But think about this. First service is getting full too.
yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, they take my seat in first service too.
That's
Hey,
why
we got to give it up to the Spanish service too. It's starting to get more
Want to
people
learn another
wanting
language? We have
Yeah.
bilingual service.
And I guess
Starts at
that's
12:30, comes at 10.
the
The
shots.
close-up shot, because I wanted Henry to be there because he says extremely close-up ECU. It's like ECU shot. Is it feasible to do ECU here?
It's not, and even
I want Henry
close-ups.
to do- I want-
Even close-ups, I
reference
wouldn't do
statement?
here either.
This is
Like
easy.
we do close-ups and stuff for
Or
the
this.
content. You know what I'm saying? But I would go
Literally,
medium close
that's
at
extremely
best.
close
Right.
up. Literally
I-
this.
Yeah.
Or this.
I mean, if he
Well, you
wants
can
to
see my
start
upper
this,
this is a close up.
Emmanuel,
This
he
is
starts
extremely
there
close
and he
up.
starts his
So that's what
pull,
I'm saying,
and then
that's
you
not-
take
Right.
it while
That's
he's pulling out,
This
and
is
you
too
But
much.
release to the
This
These
is
are
even
things
too
that we
much.
could do as directors. Be like,
So
listen,
this is what they're
Right.
camera 5, I want you to punch in, and we're gonna do a slow zoom out.
Oh no.
Let
Yeah.
practice 1. You know what I mean? And then you could be over here going, all right, camera 4, cut to camera 4. Ready, camera 8, cut to camera 8. You know what I'm saying?
So
And
tell me
then-
this: where do you stand on? Oh my gosh, just lost it. Camera shots. Movement. So what I always was taught is you always start the movement, you go to the camera, and you get out before the movement stops.
stops. Absolutely.
And I feel like we don't do that. I feel
Right.
like we start the movement after we take the camera, and then we move, and then we wait for it the movement
Right.
to end. And that, for me, I'm like, no, we start the movement, then we take it, then we get out and go to another shot before.
All right, let's call it this then. It's called padding the shot.
Paddington.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I spelled it right. I'm really bad at writing. Spelling, I'm the worst.
Yeah, you're good.
You're good.
All right, so it's padding the shot. So what we do is we go, okay, cool, we're gonna pad the shot. Your shot is from here to here, but you start here and then you cut to it, cut out of it,
Right.
and then they stop it. You see what I'm saying?
I do that. Like,
He does
So
that.
there's always
I do that.
He's just
I
like,
know
okay,
what
start
to do.
moving, and then you cut it.
yes.
And you're like, keep going, and then you cut it, and you're like, all right, you're free.
Well, the thing is as the director, you have to have your next shot ready.
Right.
Like you have to know where
And
you're
that's
going.
that's the thing when the director comes in play because it's like for me to do that and then for me to have to
It's
do
a lot.
somebody
It's
else
too much for the
to-
technical
to-
director.
to,
TD. You know what I mean?
to somebody else to get ready, and I think that's why I'm like adding that director position.
It's a good idea,
Definitely, definitely
Absolutely.
adds value.
So we'll start
Yeah. I
teaching
think,
people about padding the shot and stuff because, like I said, if this is the shot here, what we would do is start here, cut in, cut out, and then
Well,
we. you
and
see what I'm
then
saying?
if I'm going like that shot that Henry gets where, okay, we're kind of like close up, we're gonna do a pan before I get to David, because it's gonna be the same exact shot. Like I don't wanna go to David and then go past him, so I'm over here, I'm doing this, and so before I get to David, I want to transition to the to the
Got it.
close up
Yeah.
before he's in the shot, right? So I'm not
Okay.
seeing him like
and then once
twice.
you pass him, and then you go to the.
Yeah,
other
I mean, you
one.
could go back if you wanted, or have him come from this way. But what I don't like to show like the main person that I'm gonna go to next. Like I don't want to show him and then go to him again in the same, almost the same exact shot.
Here's something real quick that is even deeper than that. We're not supposed to have a moving shot cut to a static shot. It's supposed to be moving, always moving. Until you do this. Move, settle in. Now you can cut to.
And because
Oh, wow.
You see what I'm saying?
The
Yeah.
transition is like so smooth like that. You know?
Right. So those are things that we can maybe start to implement. Not now, obviously, because that gets a little
That's
advanced.
down there, but at least dissolving, not cutting in that
Right.
is better than.
Oh yeah. If you
Softer.
dissolve from a moving shot to a static shot, it's
So it's using that transition to help.
Right.
Yeah, that'll
With
help
the-
it for sure.
Right, with the abrupt.
is it the best idea? Is it the ultimate idea? Probably not, but it's definitely way better than just cutting it and calling it a day.
Yeah, so
Let me go over these real quick. The 3 ways to break the 180-degree rule is a moving camera. So you can move from, okay, so if this is a 180-degree rule, right?
Mm-hmm.
And camera's here. If the camera is live and it moves to that side, it's establishing now that the 180-degree rule is on this side now.
They're taking you on like a journey, and
Right.
you're actually going through it, so you're not confused.
Right. So that's the easy,
is it moving with the
yeah, moving camera. The other one is moving talent. So when the talent breaks the 180-degree rule, so if
You
they're
move off the
here,
stage.
right, and they end up going to this side, then you can kind of do one of these and shoot back that way. You see what I'm saying? Like, because they're always moving. When they move, you can move, and then you can establish the line somewhere else. Okay? Because we establish a line, we almost establish multiple lines per shot sometimes. You know what I mean? And then the last one's a cutaway. So like, if you went and we're sitting there, we got past Eugene, and he's talking, and then we cut to the audience, and then you want to cut to this camera, like from behind him shooting the audience. That's totally legit. You see what I'm saying? Like you're cutting away. You're taking the line and getting rid of it, and then you're establishing a new one. You see what I'm saying?
Did we have a jib at one point?
We
Yeah.
use
There's
it.
2 of them in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we